Good morning. Hello to everyone out there. Welcome to another Kerfuffle showcase. Absolutely delighted to have Costas with me today. How are you, Costas?
I'm very well, Simon. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff. And obviously, you're representing Goodlord here today, so we're going to jump into that in a second here. But first of all, congratulations on a couple of points. First of all, you are wearing a pink shirt there, or you did say to me that you tried to at least go kerfuffle. I think if you're honest there, Costas, though, that's one of those white shirts that's had a red sock in the washing machine, isn't it? Really, it wasn't a full-on pink, was it?
It's a COVID shirt. It's one of the few that still fits at the moment, so we're doing well.
I'm in the wonderful prop tech world of elasticated pants and t-shirts. and then let's just deal with the second reason I need to congratulate you as well, which is the title of today's show. Oh, good Lord, swear by your software, not at it. If that I sent you an email. That was a Simon Whale headline if ever I'd seen one. So yes, congratulations to your marketing people on that front. So, Costas, give us an overview. First of all, actually, just give us a bit of background about yourself, because, of course, you've got a long and illustrious history in this industry, and it's worth obviously detailing there to before we start talking about obviously Goodlord itself.
No, absolutely. No, thank you for the opportunity. So look, for the past 25 years, I've been working in all different industries, looking at solutions, whether they be software, hardware, any marketing, but just looking at how we can continue to improve businesses and help people with their needs. The last 15 of those years, I've actually been in the property industry. Don't hold it against me, but I joined Rightmove in 2005. And actually, when I joined Rightmove, it was actually to help them launch the lettings division. So believe it or not, in 2005, there wasn't even a click at the top for you to actually search for lettings properties. So it was literally from scratch. So I started in the world of lettings, spent 11 to 12 years with Goodlord. During that time, I focused a lot of my time on, once again, value. So I looked at things such as reporting, data, looked at best practice, also helped launch the webinars and seminars that we used to do around the country as well. And actually the first 2 or 3 I presented myself. So it was all about value. And as I said, before I left Rightmove, I took up roles such as sales director and commercial operations director as well. So really understood quite a lot. I think the secret to my success is actually getting very close to the best agents in the country. One of the benefits you have at Rightmove is that you've got the whole of market, you've got all the data, and what it allowed me to do was steal lots and lots of great ideas from lots of great agents, and then mold them and share them with other agents to try and make the whole industry a much stronger place.
Can't be overstated, that though, can it really, Costas? That ability to, as you said, to work with the best agents over a period of time, even just by osmosis, you're going to pick up a lot of great ideas and best practice, aren't you?
It's been brilliant. Anything that we've accomplished, anything, whether it's the webinars, whether it's the data, the reports, any of the products, that's all been based on watching agents do stuff exceptionally well and thinking, great, how can we share that? How can we do that? How can everybody benefit from best practice? Because obviously if we have a healthier market, we all win. So that was definitely a real learning curve for me. And I still stay in contact with a lot of those agents 15 years later. And they're still helping me today in terms of what the future looks like.
Excellent. And just give us an overview. Actually, tell us, what was it about Goodlord that really attracted you on a personal level? First of all, about the opportunity to join them.
Sure. Well, cheekily, when I left Rightmove, the plan was to have a bit of a break, but actually, I ended up helping out John Notley build, obviously, the zero deposit model. But then I also started consulting for other businesses that were offering services. So whether it was utilities, whether it was insurance, but still within the industry. And actually, Goodlord kept coming up as a key competitor for any of the suppliers that I was working with, and looking at their model and what they were doing and how could we benefit from some of the learnings and successes of Goodlord. And then out of the blue, I was contacted by Tom Mundy while I was actually on holiday in Australia. and he said to me, heard quite a bit about me, and they were looking for someone to come in and head up the growth of the business, and someone who understood the industry and also had experience as a supplier, and asked me if I would join. So I was already quite excited just by the call, but actually sitting down with Tom and the team, just blew me away in terms of their approach, the fact that they're young, they're hungry, they want the best for the customer, they want to continue improving stuff. They're not just there to do a job. They actually want to accomplish and be the best at what they do. And that's something that, I was looking for, and really aligned with what I was looking for. That's great.
I think you've done a really good job, if I'm honest. I think one of the things that I think lots of people going up to about a couple of years ago had heard about Goodlord, obviously knew the name, but they weren't entirely sure, the full gamut of what it was about. And I think the information and the way you've refocused it has been much clearer over that period of time. Really starting to obviously communicate is really powerful. Your monthly mailers and research documents are, without a shadow of a doubt, some of the very best in the industry. And I encourage everybody to go to your website just for resource.
Yeah, and I think one of the great things has been, in terms of trying to get that communication of what we do, because we are very unique. And what agents try and do is pigeonhole us. So are you a PMS? Are you an insurance provider? Are you a referencing provider? And it's very difficult when we are supplying a full pre-tenancy service and we're taking the place of 6 or 7 suppliers to explain what we do, because it's something very unique and that agents haven't seen before. And that's really been one of the biggest challenges for me and the team, is to get that message across in terms of what we can do and how we can help. And I think we've got much better at that, but we still continue to we take opportunities like today to try and inform people exactly who we are.
And so let's get just before we go into a bit of detail, just give us the elevator pitch of what Goodlord is about at the moment. Then what does it have the ability to help agents out with?
Yeah. Sure. Well, so at the heart of everything we do is our award-winning pre-tenancy platform. It's been built to work alongside CRMs and PMSs. We're not looking to replace them. Typically, that's not their key function. And actually, what we're trying to do, that gap in between that PMSs and CRMs don't fill very well, or don't even try to fill, and that's the pre-tenancy journey. So that's where we are the experts. We don't try and be anything else. We're focused on that part of the journey, and we do it exceptionally well. If you look at what our customers say about us, if you ask one of our customers, what is it about Goodlord? What's changed within your business on the introduction of Goodlord? The kind of areas they would cover are things like time saving. So for a typical agent, we can reduce about 60% of their admin time, and that's time that they're doing bits of the admin, the fluff, that technology can easily take care of, but also the time they spend chasing tenants and landlords to sign documents, to make payments, to follow through on sending information over. We're able to really focus on that and cut that time out, and leave the important key parts to the agent, where they still have great control and they have real-time visibility, so they can obviously push those deals through. Another area that we really helped and really stood out for us, especially around the tenants fee band, was compliance. So our platform has been built to take care of all the compliance within the pre-tenancy journey. So whether or not it's around making sure that your documents are the most up-to-date and compliant with today's legislation, whether it's about making sure those documents are sent at the right time so that you're not breaking any rules and putting your landlords at risks, but also the certifications and expiry of those certifications, everything you need to make sure that you're compliant and there's no manual errors. Goodlord takes care of that for you during the pre-tenancy service. So it's one less thing you need to worry about, and you can focus on the important things. And probably last thing that they would probably mention is our revenue generation. So one of the key things for the platform is, because we control the whole journey, or we're part of the whole journey alongside the agent from the start of the pre-tenancy to the end, it means that we can introduce the services and we can introduce the products that agents need, but also that tenants and landlords buy, whether they're going to buy them from them or whether they'll buy them from somewhere else. What we're able to do is present those products, whether they're insurance, utilities, anything may be, at the best optimum level, because we can see where they are in the journey and we can see how they're behaving during that journey, which means that agents get a much higher conversion and a really big opt-in, because it's all branded to the agent. So from a tenant perspective, what you're not getting is 6 different brands contacting you, one for utilities, one for a signature, one for a payment. They're not getting lots of different brands emailing you, and it's a broken journey. Because it's all in one place, we're able to make that seamless and make that journey much faster and a much better experience for everyone involved.
Excellent. You know, you made that point at the beginning that obviously you obviously work with CRMs. It's not an area that the CRMs really get involved with. That really does resonate. It resonates with me. It's really true. Why do you have any idea why the CRMs don't particularly seem to have developed their functionality in this particular area? Is it just because it's just a difficult, particularly maybe not, particularly glitzy part of the process?
I think it's not the fundamental reason why you first enter into a CRM or PMS conversation with someone or look for that supplier. If you look at what we've done so we launched in 2014, we've spent over £20 million in trying to develop the system we have today. So from a PMS and a CRM perspective, they've got their own battles. The industry is ever changing, and the needs are ever changing, and they've probably got enough on their plate already. What we've proven is the pre-tenancy process alone is a whole unique journey and requires a whole focused supplier on that journey alone. And as I say, it's worked really well. We've got quite a few partners now in terms of CRMs and PMSs out in the marketplace, and it's really fitted really well in terms of us taking part of that middle part of the journey and allowing them to be great at the parts that they were brought in to do.
And I bet you must be really pleased then, because obviously for a long period of time, the CRM products have been quite a closed shop, and actually over the last couple of years that they're really starting to open up and look at integrations in a much more positive fashion, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think we were also, I think they're also looking over their shoulders to say, well, where do Goodlord go next? Because they've nailed that part of the journey. Does that mean that they're suddenly going to start becoming a CRM? We can guarantee you, I'm being videoed, that is not an interest to us. There's still so much we can do in terms of the pre-tenancy journey, but also where we take the user experience, the tenants, the landlords, the agents after the pre-tenancy journey. And that's where our focus will be, and that's where we'll keep developing and keep improving and keep delivering new things to the market. We're not crossing swords with anybody, which is good.
That's nice. Yeah, that's good. So you mentioned obviously challenges earlier. I think we got out of jail a little bit yesterday with the announcement we're obviously not heading into a full lockdown. How have you been supporting your clients though and customers during the whole COVID experience?
Yeah, so obviously, I was around in 2008, 2009, although slightly different, has quite a few similarities. And so have a lot of our senior team as well. But also just talking to agents, some of the lessons we learned, I think the direction we took was, if we're going to be successful, our agents need to be around and successful as well. And the 3 key areas that we looked at in terms of where we could support was one, in terms of cash flow. So how can we support them with cash flow during these difficult time? They couldn't go out, they couldn't do viewings, they couldn't do new tenancies. The second one was around what parts of their business are still functioning, they can still earn revenue from, and how do we do that for them? And the third one was really supporting them in terms of the new challenges that were coming up. So from a cash flow perspective, we offered all our agents the opportunity to go on a pay-as-you-go model. So rather than keep paying full subscriptions, what we did was we allowed them to go on a pay-as-you-go. So if you did a deal and you got paid, can you pay us as well? But if you're not doing any deals at the moment, that's fine. You won't be charged any subscriptions during that time. From a tech perspective, our team focused very much on the renewals, and we improved the renewals process through the platform, because the renewals were still happening for agents, where they were still. And we actually gave renewals free to our agents as well. So we didn't charge them for the renewals. We wanted to make sure there was still money going into their businesses. So from a cash flow perspective and from supporting the existing business, we did what we could during that period, and that ended last month. But moving forward as well, we also focused a lot of our time on energy on, okay, what's the future hold? So how much difficult will it be to get hold of referees for references and so on? So we've just launched a new suite of references that match the future and are future proof for our agents. We also invested quite a lot of time in terms of our insurance products. And I was quite pleased, and it's down to our insurance department. I had nothing to do with it, but Ollie Sherlock, head of our insurance, to make sure that agents still had a 12-month policy that paid out for 12 months and midterm policies available to landlords so that agents could protect their own businesses by protecting their landlords to make sure they got paid. So there's been quite a lot going on. It's been quite busy, quite hectic, but I'm really pleased how the team reacted. I'm really pleased how the business took that on. Feedback from our members as well have been, thank you for doing something without being asked, I think is the key message we got back.
I think that's really nice. Yeah, I think, Costas, to do that stuff and be proactive makes all the difference, doesn't it? And you mentioned there insurance. The insurance world's been in what do they call it? Politely flux, hasn't it? over the period there. How looking? You mentioned there, Ollie's been sorting all that side of things. Have you got quite a strong selection of insurance products now?
Yeah, no, we've been really fortunate. Look, DAS have been an amazing partner for us. I think DAS potentially took a different view to other insurers, which benefited us and benefited our customers, where they were willing to make decisions based on the actual data they were seeing. I think a lot of insurance companies probably been through this, similar times before with different products. The first approach for many was to double prices and half the cover, if not pull the product completely. Our insurer was trusting of us, trusted in the quality of the referencing and the tenants that we put through based on claims up to that date. And they trusted us based on the data to react along with the data. So it was probably 2 or 3 months into COVID before we had to make any changes to the cost of the product, but it's still probably still the best price product in the marketplace. And the main thing that we wanted to do is make sure that landlords still have 12 months cover for a 12-month tenancy. And that's something that disappeared from the market. And to be fair, commercially, as a sales director, worked really well for me. We've taken on a lot of business, and a lot of landlords have been moving over to some of our agents because they don't want to have their tenancies out there without full cover.
No, it's too much, isn't it? Great. And so just talk us through a lot of businesses, obviously, a lot of suppliers in the industry will talk about one of their benefits of saving you time. It's a very common thing there. Clearly, that's a big part of what you guys do. Can you put a bit of meat on the bone, though, how exactly Goodlord obviously will save agents time?
Yeah, so the platform has been built to automate various parts of the journey, and it's the parts that don't necessarily require that customer service, that relationship building. Because we still understand it's still a people business, and you still need to have strong relationships with your tenants and your landlords to make sure you're a successful business. So in terms of how that works, that technology can cope with, but also we join them up using the platform in that journey, as I mentioned before. So a perfect example would be when a tenancy is started on Goodlord, Goodlord would automate from you just putting the details in once, the pre-qualification. It will join that pre-qualification up with the offer letter. It will join that up with the holding deposit payment, and it will join that up with completing the reference. So a tenant can do everything in one sitting with one supplier, and all of that in the background is branded by the agents. It's also trusted that all of these payments, all of these references and everything else are being done by the agent and not by third parties that are contacting them on a broken chain. So what that means is, because it's a sort of a one sitting environment, we can get those important documents at the start of the tenancy back as quicker than other suppliers. So that's one key part of how that works. I think the other part as well, because the platform does so much, not just in terms of the documentation or the additional services, what the platform was also quite good at doing is pulling all of those services together to make it a much better user experience. And it means that you've put your details in once, and then from the start to the end of the tenancy, when the contract's signed and they've handed over the keys, you've only had to input that information once. So you're not duplicating through various suppliers.
Excellent. Excellent. And you mentioned revenue streams earlier in terms of there. Just give us a bit of background on how Goodlord can help you in that particular area as well.
Yeah, so in terms of revenue, because we're working alongside the agent, we have a really good view of where the tenant is in the journey, which means that we can push the right products, and I'm biased, but they're market-leading products, trust me, market-leading products at the right times. So another perfect example of that is when a tenant is signing the AST, we will ask them to update their details so utilities can be switched into their name. That provides a revenue generation for the agent, but what it also does is it means that obviously they're not chasing the council and the water to change over the details. They're not having to sort out the problem for the landlord because bills have come into the landlord's name. It's all being dealt with in the background by us through the platform. Once again, it's taken away that focus. The other nice bit about the platform as well is because the tenants are logging into the platform. It's their point of truth in terms of where they are in their journey. We get actually 100% opt-in on all the services that they're going to buy. So I say this all the time to agents. The vast majority of your tenants, if not all, are going to buy contents insurance. They're going to buy broadband, okay, and they might decide to buy other stuff as well. If you're not offering those services, or if you're unable to get the opt-in for those services, they're going to buy them somewhere else, and therefore that revenue goes to somebody else. So what we try and do is keep them in the platform to make sure that revenue moves through to them. And that's sort of one of the key points of the platform itself, is all these services and the right timing.
Ultimately, as you said, if positioned rightly, that's should be seen as a positive customer service element, isn't it? You don't have to go hard sell, because the simple answer is most of these people do want them at some stage.
Absolutely, and having a message from the agent to say, would you like us to take care of moving all your utilities, your council tax, your water over to your name? Of course they would. They don't want that hassle. And as we know, as agents know, if they trust tenants to do it themselves, chances are the majority of them never get around to it, and then you're dealing with lots of hassle and bills for the landlord. So it's definitely it's a good thing for the agent, good thing for the landlord, and a good thing for the tenant.
Does the simplicity of the platform, does that encourage engagement from the tenant logging in and as well? Is it often used by the tenants?
Yeah, absolutely. Not only, obviously, it's a cloud-based system, which means they can access it through any medium they choose. But also, we've this year introduced lots of tenant benefits. So anything from vouchers off food or local amenities. So we're now building an environment, if you will, community for those tenants as well. But once again, it's branded the agent. So from a tenant point of view, they don't see it as Goodlord. They see it as, okay, the agent's now supplying with benefits and discounts of other services. This is quite good. I quite like dealing with the agent. But it also draws them back into the platform, knowing that there's additional value there and savings and benefit by using it effectively.
Excellent. And does Goodlord then replace your PMS?
No. So as mentioned before, there's a part of that journey that we do better than anybody else, and it's a part of that journey that I would think most PMSs or CRMs would admit is the part of the journey they probably focus least on. So we're building out our partnerships. We're talking to more and more of those PMSs and CRMs every day. We've just launched a couple of really good ones. We've got really good companies as well. And what we're looking to do is really just slot in the bit that just makes that journey more effective for the agent, and join up the ends so that from an agent's perspective, they see that as a seamless journey.
Well, I can certainly tell you obviously I was at Repeat in my previous days, and the only company I ever heard that he said he was really impressed with the product was Goodlord, actually. He was not known for being particularly nice about other things, but he's just said it was a really slick system dealing with a very difficult a difficult area. So you don't win any trophies with that for that, but you've got quite enough of those anyway. But believe me, that was quite an accolade to get from him at that stage. Okay.
You were called sexy the other day, so I haven't been called sexy for a while. I think that I'm going to keep that one with me in terms of when people say, well, what tell me about the platform, it's sexy.
Sexy,
as said by one of our clients.
Sexy, swearing by your software. You're just a big edgy brand, aren't you? We've actually got someone here just obviously on your 5-star rating, which is fantastic, obviously on Kerfuffle, and one of them was just made the point, really smart, automated process, David Gilson. Do you think that again is actually, thanks David, do you think that again is one of the keys there, that you have dealt with that automation piece probably better than anyone has done to date?
Yeah, firstly, thank you, David. Yeah, I think it's a lot easier, to be fair to everybody, it's a lot easier for a supplier when you're focused on one part of the journey. Yeah. And so, your whole team, the challenges that you're having and the need in the marketplace, you're able to really focus on those and make very quick and big improvements to that journey. So I think we're fortunate that we've not tried to do too much. What we've tried to do is just become the expert at one part of that journey. And I've got a great team behind me, because from a technology point of view, that's them, not me. But execute it really well.
And what is the size of the team there now, Costas?
So we're now a team of 180. So we've grown to 180. We've actually grown by about 40 people during COVID, and that was another learning through COVID as well, in terms of the amount of support that agents wanted. So we were caught out a little bit when obviously lockdown ended, and we had to ramp up the staff very quickly to get back to what we would consider, and our agents would consider, good SLAs and return times. So that's something we continued to grow. In terms of the business itself, we now look after about 900 agency brands across the country. And if we look at the next 12 months from today, we're going to help agents deliver around 200,000 tenancies, and we're going to be supporting the user journey for nearly 500,000 landlords and tenants. And we're growing every day. So really pleased with how things are moving.
That's incredible. That's a really strong team there, isn't it? Which shows obviously through the dev that you're doing and the customer support on the back end as well. So that is impressive. And what do you see as the if you can tell us without obviously killing us, what are your own goals for the kind of the year ahead? I mean, it's tricky to do budgets or anything at the moment, isn't it? But what would you be happy with in 12 months' time if you were to sit back and look over the 2021?
Yeah, I think carrying on where we are. So, we're very proud, in terms of our retention rate, over 98%, 99% of customers stay with us. Some of those customers are bought out or go out of business. So they're not all people that choose to leave. So we want to make sure we continue to offer that service level. And as I've said, we've had to increase the team to make sure that we can retain that service. In terms of other goals, we are still looking at the journey. There's definitely changes we can make. Our current customers will be happy to hear that we will be launching things like the landlord terms of business in the new year. We're also looking at how to improve payments, make them quicker, make them easier, and also looking at what other services we can bring into the business or improve of the existing products we have. So I think 12 months' time, I would love to be in a position where we continue on the growth that we have. We're still dealing with independent agents that are market leaders and market challengers in their given areas, and they still call me sexy, or at least the platform.
That'll be really exciting if that develops. What would you say? Costas, to the? I've heard some agents talking about in terms of the tenant referencing element that it's all kind of been commoditized these days. There's been kind of a race to the bottom in terms of pricing, and therefore actually the service has changed as well. Is that your experience of it, or do you still see that there's a real value and a qualitative necessity for that tenant referencing part of the process?
Oh no, definitely. It's like, and I think being hand on heart, I think we've been a little bit guilty. We were offering referencing was our carrot to bring business people into the business. And I think one of the things I mentioned before about the fact that one of the opportunities we had during the gap in COVID was to work on our referencing and how we can improve that and give agents choice. We only had one reference pre-COVID. So that was it. Take it or leave it. If you want the platform, you have to do your referencing that way. We've now developed 4 different types of referencing. So depending on how you want to reference, depending on how your business works, the kind of clients you're working with, whether you want a premium service or whether or not you want to have a very basic student-led reference, we're able to give agents the option now to choose what fits around their business rather than asking them to make sure they fit around ours. And still cost effective.
Excellent. And on the Goodlord saving you money angle, just give us some more detail there. How can you help agents out on that in that area?
Yeah. So well, in terms of, obviously we talked about saving time. So saving time should absolutely help you save money, but also it should definitely make you make money as well. So whether or not you want to use that time to go home so the kids can recognize you again, or whether or not you want to use that time to win more landlords. A lot of our agents recently have found the time to actually revisit old landlords. So if you've been a business that's probably been trading for 10 years, you've probably got close to 100 landlords at least that stopped using your service. So now it's been given the time for them to revisit those opportunities, which has been great. So obviously, the biggest factor is obviously time. But in addition to that, we've obviously looked at improving conversions on our products. That continues to improve every day. So we have some of the best conversions in the marketplace, but also looking at existing products, and insurance is another one. Once again, looking at existing products in terms of how can we still have the best product in the market, but how can we deliver it alongside quality referencing to make sure that the claim rates are at a point where we can consistently offer a great product at great value, which means that agents can obviously earn off the back of that, and landlords are protected and happy.
Great. Costas, I've seen, far too many products that actually have been really, really good technically, but have actually failed because they haven't had the support and backup to get up, to get people onboarded in the right way and everything else there. I suspect you're going to tell me that's obviously not the case given the size of the team there. But tell me what an agent could expect if they're going to onboard with you. How quick it takes to get set up on the system, and really start. When are you at full, 100% using the system?
Yeah. So typically, once an agent has signed contracts with us and is happy to move ahead, it would take anywhere between 3 and 5 days to get them live on the platform. A lot of that would depend on how bespoke they want their contracts and their services. But within 5 days, we should be able to get them live on the platform. In terms of the journey they go through with Goodlord, they start with our onboarding team, and they stay within that team for the first 4 to 6 weeks at least. And that's to make sure that they have a clear understanding of how to use the platform and use it effectively. If revenue generation is important to them at that point and a key factor for why they came on, we'd also spend quite a bit of time with them working on that. But really the fundamental part is making sure that we get that user experience into your business and to your customers as quickly as possible. Then once we're happy and the customer's happy that they're clear on our systems, it is changed, different referencing criteria and so on. Once they're happy with that, we'll then move them on to their success manager, and they stay with that success manager throughout their journey. And that success manager, does what it says on the tin. They're there to make sure that they're reaching their goals, whether it was about saving time, whether it was about earning more revenue, or whether it was about just delivering a better experience. So they'll understand what the customer needs. And the great thing is, obviously, they're looking after anywhere between 50 to 100 customers each. So once again, a bit like myself back in the early days, we can share best practice and how people are using stuff effectively. And if you do, it's a great journey.
You got a big shout out here from John Broyley, just saying, "Great to see you, Costas." So it's
great to see you, John.
Your fan club's found you. So at the moment, of course, there's I think it was happening anyway, but as usual, the pandemic has kind of heightened it. It appears to me that customer service standards are splitting. The good agents are getting better, the other ones are just getting left behind. How are you able to help the agents obviously improve better and deliver their own better customer service?
Yeah, I think if you look back, I've been in the industry 15 years, and the thing that I've seen, the trend that I've seen and where we are today is landlords and tenants are a lot more demanding. I think if we look back probably even 5 years ago, tenants did what they were told, otherwise they didn't get the property. There were people lining up outside, but now tenants have choice. So you have to have a relationship, and I think a lot of the good that we do is actually giving agents back the time to actually create those relationships. And also because we take care of a lot of the compliance and the worries, and a lot of the additional frills are automated through, it means that they can focus on the really important stuff, which is dealing with the immediate queries, the immediate, the boiler breaking down, or supporting the referencing not going through. They can deal with the really important stuff within that journey, and leave the rest to us, the bits that they don't need to step into. Just be very visible to their customers.
That's great. So let's just summarize all this then. So if you're an agent and you're looking to, as you just spoke about there, really, you want a cross compliance off your list. That vital, yet not overly exciting, but absolutely necessary part of the business. There's a big tick next to that. Obviously, the ability to increase your revenue. Yeah, of course, who wouldn't want that ability there? And then that final point again, you just touched on there. Really maintaining the relationship with all of the clients, but certainly tenants and landlords, and to ultimately, let's hope, win more landlords at the end of the day. I think that strikes me as the really, succinct benefits that Goodlord can really get across to people, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I say we're here to help.
Excellent. And so you've been really kind, I think, like many are these days, for the wonderful Kerfuffle family here. I think you've got a little deal for our troops, haven't you? Do you want to just give an overview of that if they sign up with you?
No, absolutely. So yes, if any Kerfuffle members want to give us a call, it's a no obligation demonstration. See what we have, see whether or not you feel it will fit within your business. If you decide it's the right thing for you, then we're offering all Kerfuffle members the first 20 tenancies free across our platform. So you won't pay any platform charges for the first 20 tenancies that you put through. And that's available to all Kerfuffle members. Just please make sure when you do call us, if you don't come straight through from Kerfuffle, to make sure that you tell us you're a Kerfuffle member, so you don't lose out on the opportunity.
They'll be wearing the merch, Costas. Come on, it should be obvious on a Zoom call anyway. No, thank you very much. No, thank you for that. It is really kind of you. Thank you. Our members will be thankful of that. I just advise them again. Really have a look, obviously, at your landing page. Obviously on the site, you can see a bit more information about the company as well. You are absolutely 5-star rated here, and I think actually looking at your website as well, you're incredibly highly rated across all the review platforms from what I can see. So that really important thing we always encourage people to do is make sure you do your due diligence, because I think that there is a big difference in some of the providers out there, and of course you want to make sure this is a partner with the business rather than just a supplier to the business. And I think, Costas, you do that. You do that really well. And just the little my lovely little elves in the background have just put that up for us as well there. So there you go. If you want to find out, just put that in. There is an inquire form, and that'll make its way through to Costas and his team, and I'm sure that they'll come back to you. Let's just, if it's all right with you, Costas, thanks for that. Just on a finishing point there, do you have integrations with any of the CRMs currently, and if so, which ones? And can you talk about if any are on the horizon as well?
I don't want to give too much away, but obviously the one that's probably been the one that's been shouted out the most recently was Repeat. So obviously we're one of the first people to integrate into the Foundations platform. But obviously we work with Q6 and others as well. Sorry.
No, just it's really exciting to see one of the first, obviously, Foundations ones there. And just was that a pleasant experience to work with? Has it done everything you've needed it to do?
Yeah, no, I think once again, it's that perfect fit in terms of the part of the journey that they do exceptionally well, and then we slide in between that gap. And the only thing that was missing was obviously the automation of sending over all the documents, sending over the landlord, tenant, property details, so that we could pick up the baton take it to the end of the tenancy, the pre-tenancy process, and then hand back all the documents, all the information, all the payments that were needed back into the CRM, so that they had everything in one place and they knew where anything was at one time. So it's been a really good start for us. We've already got a lineup of agents that are coming on, both existing customers and new customers that have been waiting for the integration before they committed to us. So it's been really, really positive.
So repeat clients there, give Costas a ring, it sounds like. We want to test that. Great. Okay, Costas, thank you very much for joining us. Look forward to catching up with you soon when we're allowed to again. And best of luck with the business.
Fantastic. Thank you all. Thanks for the time.
Cheers.